Hello Taurus, this is Kate from Clear Blue Tarot with a reading for you today. I've changed it up with my spread. I've decided to kind of mix it up. I was getting a little bored with the Celtic Cross, so I'm doing something different. I'm doing a past, present, future 3-card tarot spread with clarifiers, and then I'm crowning it with a card from the Lightworker Oracle, and then flanking that with a couple of clarifiers about that. So I'm just going to jump right in. I'm going to start with the Lightworker Oracle, which I usually end with, but I'm changing that too. So I got the number 43, the 6th ray of devotion, and I always like to read a little bit about these because they're a little new to me. So the 6th ray relates to Archangel Uriel, and when Uriel connects with you, powerful, the power of Earth is brought to your aid. Uriel brings healing energy and an ability to cause real effect in the physical world with your mental and emotional power. To be here to shine your light, live in your truth, trust in your heartfelt beliefs, and devote yourself to love. So the 6th ray has a special connection to religion and love. You're asked to hold the healing power of love in your heart for all those who are evolving through a life experience involving religious practice. This can help counterbalance the judgment and fear that exists in the hearts of many towards religions that are not their own, or that have been the vehicle through which abuse has taken place. Religion on this planet at this time needs love, support, and encouragement to evolve, heal, and grow in whatever way ultimately serves divine love. So there's this beautiful invocation that I want to read to end it. It says, I now accept of my own free will the blessing and grace of the 6th ray of devotion and its blessings of will, strength, purpose, and the miraculous power of loving belief. I invite the genuine, unconditionally loving masters and archangels, including Uriel, Christ, Mary Magdalene, and Mother Mary, to assist me and all beings on this earth in integrating the blessing of the 6th ray of devotion. I choose to keep my mind open and my heart soft, my will powerful, and my actions true. May kindness prevail and passionate idealism be tempered by mercy for the greatest good. So be it. So, personally, I know this is a Taurus reading, but personally, for me, I get a little bit triggered when I read the words from Catholicism, like the names of Christ, Mary Magdalene, not so much the angels, but I've had a really tough time re-embracing Christ, Mary, and other, figures through the Bible related to Catholicism personally, because I was raised Catholic, and my family, my ancestors, I wouldn't say it went so well. So I've ended up having to re-embrace the purity of Christ consciousness, not so much through the religion of Catholicism, but through a deep connection to the Christ consciousness through meditation and accessing that, plus Mary, both Marys, and others throughout. I came back to them after traversing through all the other religious figures that I was more comfortable with because they hadn't raised me. And you really need to make a choice. Are you going to accept all beings of love and light, or are you going to subtract certain ones because of your upbringing, your belief system, or any kind of difficulties, or impure, unclean things perpetrated by humans on this planet that had nothing to do with the energies of these divine beings. So anyways, that's sort of my take on what it says in this reading that I just read about, is to not be judgmental about certain beings of light because of prejudices that you learned one way or another through your upbringing. So it's very important right now to anchor as much light as possible down here. So to have any kind of resistance towards beings of light, it's not advisable. We want to be open and loving about them all. So we're jumping into your past. We have the Four of Pentacles in your past, and I pulled this from the Salvador Dali Tarot, which is my new tarot deck. And this deck has a teeny bit different meanings for things, and I liked what it said about the Four of Pentacles in this. It talked about it being a time to decide what you want to hold and what you want to let go of. And this card has like the Buddha in the top, but it's in a shape of a bear or a lion's head. So it's almost saying your true self, your spiritual being, your higher self, also has the capability to become a beast. So, you know, you always want to let go of the negative portions of your internal reality and how it has mirrored itself in your external reality. So you've got to decipher what you want to keep about beliefs, what you want to keep about people in your life, what you want to keep about, you know, things that you've been doing that you want to change, and you keep some and you let some go. And that's how you keep the flow of life correctly moving, because life's always about change and flow, and we should never cling to everything. We cling to some things or hold on to some things and let the rest flow and change. And I clarified that with this Wheel of Great Time, which is from the Secret Dakini Oracle, and it is the card for the Wheel of Fortune. So it really kind of goes in hand with the way Dali interpreted the Four of Pentacles, where, you know, something has changed. There's a cycle that has just brought about something where you've been forced to decide to make some changes and cut some things out and hold on to other things to nurture and grow these other things with more energy, because you're not so divided. Where you are in the present moment, this is really great. You got the King of Coins, which is your card, Taurus. It's the King of Pentacles. And Salvador Dali painted himself on this card. And there's a lot of meaning and images in the card. There's actually a lynx, I think they said it was, on a leash next to his throne, which echoes the Hindu paintings of the gods with the tiger on the leash, which is controlling your own inner beast, unruliness, whatever you want to call it, you know, taming the beast, taming the ego, mainly. And it's a card about achieving worldly wealth, material prosperity, and sitting back, you know, in the comforts of what you've created. There is a little bit of a warning with that cat on the leash to not let your comfort become too important, you know, to realize that that's just material stuff, and even if you have that going on right now, there's more to life than that, and not to attach too much importance to that and let it control you, okay, because that can happen. That I clarified with the crow, which I actually thought was funny, because the crow, I could see the crow sitting on the throne in Dali's place. I mean, he was a magician for sure, and this card really reminds me of his energy. So this is all about magic, and they do say that the crow can see past, present, and future all at once. It has that vision, that sight, to be able to see the totality of life, the dimensions all at once. So that's kind of funny, because I did the past, present, future spread. So because the Dali card is on top of the crow, and then the crow is on top of this rainbow orb, it's sort of like as above, so below, or it's also, you know, the master of your reality right now, having everything you need to master your reality in the material world. That's where you're at right now. In the near future, I got the Eight of Swords, and it's such a gorgeous Eight of Swords in this deck. And it has another very unique meaning, where it talks about how the woman is holding a butterfly, symbol of transformation, and she's cradling it like a baby, and it's symbolizing her inner child. And the swords are about the traps of the mind, and then the buildings, the castle and the buildings in the distance symbolize parents and beliefs in the mind that have become sort of a trap. And so it's saying in the future, in the near future, you're going to be challenged a little bit to find some beliefs that are in your mind that are not nurturing your inner child. And you're going to have some epiphanies, some eye-opening moments where you're going to see more deeply inside your mind of some beliefs that you've had passed down that you want to use these swords to kind of break free from, so that your inner child and this butterfly can fully blossom. And that I clarified with this little tiny I Ching card. I don't know why they're so tiny, but they're so cute. And this I Ching is number 58, and it is the card for joy. And they explain that by saying that in the wisdom of the I Ching, they say people see unhappiness as being the opposite of joy. But because everything is so inextricably linked in this philosophy of the yin and the yang, unhappiness is necessary to get to joy, because without being unhappy or discontent in some way, we don't strive for more. And if you stay in that state where there isn't anything making you unhappy, if you're in this place where there's no growth, you're never going to really be unhappy, but you're never going to get to joy. So the message of this card is that you should be happy and you should have joy within you, regardless of whether circumstances are unpleasant or unhappy or not. And that's such a perfect message to be under this card of nurturing your inner child and letting go of some passed down beliefs. Because maybe sometimes when we do that, we can get a little bit sad or melancholy or frustrated, or when we have our eyes open to something that we weren't aware of that was kind of controlling us from deep within our psyche, we can get into a little bit of an unhappy or a pain place. And this joy card is reminding us that be happy that you saw this stuff. Be happy that you have gotten this epiphany and that you've come into this growth, because now you can truly get to joy on all levels, not just the joy that comes from that wellspring that's regardless of circumstance. It's the joy that can come from everything sort of clearing and having that bliss of that love and light in you rise up, which comes with growth. Now, I clarified the sixth ray of devotion with two cards that are from the Animal Spirit Guidebook. And it's kind of funny. It almost looks like God on one shoulder and the devil on the other. I got the moth and the lion. So again, it seems like some sort of choice of like, which way are you going to go? Are you going to embrace this sixth ray of devotion recommendation, as well as this crow energy with this King of Coins recommendation? Because the lion is all about God. It's about the light of the sun. It's about being the master of your life and being full of happiness and joy and love and light and having power immense power. It's about spiritual power. It's truly a magnificent card. And then the moth is doesn't have a flame of its own. It's just getting drawn to others' flame. It's not creating its own flame. So, you know, to me it's a clear-cut choice, but maybe that's part of this epiphany. Maybe you didn't recognize the moths, or maybe, you know, everyone's so different. There's like a million different ways that this can go, but I just put forward what the cards say, and then you can apply it. Hopefully there'll be something in your life that will benefit from the cards that were pulled and the meanings that are behind them. I don't riff off of the cards in a manner of like making my own meanings. I know some readers really kind of see the cards differently every single time, and I do that to some degree, but I still pretty much stick to the meanings. So I want to look really quickly. There was something in the lion. I just noticed that in the moth it says, moth people tend to think that the grass is always greener on the other side, and they don't nurture and follow through with one thing because they skip on to the next. So that's another aspect. Here it is. The lion is a master of the fire element and the living mascot of self-transformation. A lion personality dedicates their life to personal and spiritual growth. This dedication inspires some and intimidates others. Therefore, the lion is respected by all but known intimately by few. Some mistake the lion as hard to access or aloof, yet those with a keener eye know better. Lions are observant, stealth, and precise in their words and actions. They do not waste energy or resources. This card reminds us that self-mastery is available to all, no matter where our quest begins. So you're really being encouraged to carry on in this path, and maybe dedicate yourself a little more strongly to it, and not flit around a lot. Like I said at the beginning, for me, I had flit from philosophy to philosophy, religion to religion, spirituality to spirituality. I studied pretty much everything that you can study, and I became like sort of the, oh my God, what's that, whatever that expression is about, like being a little bit good at a whole bunch of things, but the master of none. So maybe it's time for you to pick something to master and become a master of something that you can really devote yourself to, using this Archangel Uriel 6th ray of devotion energy, because that's really, really powerful energy. So maybe it's time to commit to something that you want to master. Okay, Taurus? That's your reading. It's my new spread, so I'm getting used to it. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much. Namaste.